WF, and TDS compliance at large scale, labor law compliances, which includes around 16 to 17 different acts on a monthly basis to the yearly filings, and all of those things are covered. And there are HRMS tool and other compliance tools which are exclusively from Relativity. And HR consultation and advisory is taken for all the at all levels of employee strength companies. And any audits that is related to HR, payroll, compliance, any audits, we are doing the audit services as well. So I'll just take each of it to 2 minutes, right? Payroll processing, right from your monthly salary calculation to monthly payroll management, payroll compliance. We have the ESS tool for them, and we have reimbursement, expense management, all of this, right from the salary calculation to the payroll pay slip issuance on the HRMS. All of those stuffs are entirely end-to-end taken care in payroll processing. Go back, please. Next slide. Yeah, in payroll compliance, it is PF, ESI, PT, and LWF, which is covered in payroll compliance. On the other hand, we call it as statutory compliance as well. These are like right from the calculation to statutory filings on every month, and any consultation, any demands, notices handling, any audits in this payroll compliances. Everything is handled end-to-end in payroll compliances services. Next one, please. Yeah, tax compliance, your quarterly ETDS filing, correction filings on ETDS filings, and addressing any demands and notices, Form 16A issuances for your vendors, investment proof management, that is a year-long activity which you will ask your employees to do the declaration at the beginning of the year, and then end of the year you ask for the submission of proofs in the tool. And from the tool only we do the verification, and year end we do the tax reconciliation again and do the deductions. So this is a year-long process. So these are a few things that is available with tax compliance services. And LLC compliance, as I said already, there are some 16 to 17 different acts that requires on a monthly basis and yearly basis. And as per the due diligence, we do all the filings and register maintenance on all of those steps. Right from your periodic filing, as I said, inspections, assistance, visits that is there from your labor departments. All of those steps are handled by Relativity for our clients, including the POSH Act, including the Apprenticeship Act. Everything comes under local labor compliances, and this is handled for entire 16 cities in Pan India. And we are even open to conduct in new other locations also as well. So in our HRMS tool, right from onboarding management module to exit management, payroll, core HR, leave management, attendance management, and any performance management, business expense claim management, all of these are modules that are available in our HRMS tool. And depending on the requirement for the company, the modules is going to be an add-on or the requirement-based assistance will be provided in selecting the HRMS modules for your companies. Going forward. Yeah. Compliance tool. Yeah, this is an exclusive tool that we have designed from Relativity. And this is, in fact, there is a story behind this compliance tool. This is a tool which we have developed for one of our enterprise clients exclusively. And then later we saw that this was so benefit to the audience and to the users, and we marketed later, and then this became a hit tool now, which we call it as smart operator tool, which manages by which you can actually manage all your compliances at one place, and there will be more of transparency and visibility of what is happening in the local labor compliance management and statutory compliance management activities in your company. If you are looking to have the transparency at one place, and or you need to know where the status is, what the status is, where it is pending, who is responsible, all of those steps at one place, then this is a right tool for you. Next slide, please. Yeah, we also deal with this Apprenticeship Act. I think recently also we had this Apprenticeship Act webinar. And there is so much of visibility in Apprenticeship Act compliances. even that particular compliance has employer activities for the act, and there are some activities where the apprentices have to do, and that has to be reported to back to the ministries on the portal, on their portal. And there are some due diligences, filings, and returns have to be done on the due dates. So these are some of the activities specifically for this apprenticeship act is carried out. And around I think there are some 100 plus companies have already started with us, out of 200 companies, for this apprenticeship act compliance. And recently we are seeing so much of visibility on this particular compliance throughout. So these are few services majorly we deal with. And I'm not going to be any more interruption for you to hear on the labor codes. So thank you very much for the time. And of course, if there are any things that you think that you can discuss, need not be a sales discussion, but then you need some discussion on it, please do reach out to us. Divya will help us to arrange the meeting with us. Thank you very much. I'm giving back to Divya. Please take over. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your brief introduction. I would like to introduce our second presenter, Mrs. Pramila. She is a seasoned labor compliance expert with over 20 plus years of experience in her field. Today, she will provide valuable insights and actionable strategies to help your organizations. So please join me in welcoming Mrs. Pramila to the virtual stage. It's time to start our webinar. Let's start, and over to you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, Divya. So before going into the session, so we would like to understand what would be the key takeaways of from this session. So one is, the foremost thing is like what all the steps the central government is taking initiatives towards in mobilizing the activities towards implementation of the labor codes. So you can have a fair idea on that, okay? And what makes the delay in implementation of this code, okay? So we'll just get an idea like why this is being delayed, and we can understand as a stakeholder like what is the changes we may likely to face once the labor code is being implemented, okay? So the final will be the question and answer sessions. Like if you have any questions, you can put it in the chat box and that will be addressed finally. Okay. So before going into the session, would like to have a poll so that to understand the participants, like who they are. Okay. So we'll start the poll right now.
We can move on.
Yeah. So I got a fair idea about the participants. So people from manufacturing setup, IT, and from HR and payroll and compliance department. And the workforce strength of more than 1,000, we are having a 28%. That's a good percentage. Yeah, fine. Thank you all. Thank you. Fine. So we'll have a brief introduction of about the labor code. Most of you might have been aware of what is labor code. So labor code encompasses 29 different labor laws, which is being further classified into 4 different codes: wage code, social security code, occupational health and safety code, and industrial relations. So why the government is taking initiative to provide what do you say, that welfare facilities for both the organized and unorganized sector employees, keeping in view, keeping in mind this labor reforms has happened. So currently we have a very old labor laws which has been framed during the British era. So to revamp, complete revamp of the labor codes, this labor laws, this labor code has been introduced by the government. So what is the benefit of having this code? One is single registration for single entity. As in current practice, we have multiple registrations under different provisions. But once the labor code is implemented, an entity can have a single registration and complete digitalization of the activities. So if the establishment has to go for registration, they can apply through online. Obviously, it is happening currently, but it will be a complete digitalization of the activities right from which brings out the transparency and accountability in the activity. So when you say digitalization, even the maintenance of records and even submission of records happens digitally. And common definition of legal terms. So, for example, when you take the definition of employer or the wages, the definition will remain under the different statutory provisions. So that is very easy to understand and interpret also. Okay, minimal records. See, when you compare to the current scenario and to the labor code, there is a very drastic reduction in the number of records which we have to maintain. So, as because of this minimal records, there is a reduced compliance cost. So, when you say reduced compliance cost means you don't have to go for multiple registrations. So, obviously, it will reduce the compliance cost. An online inspection. So, authority not necessary they have to come in the physical premises and have a physical inspection. Instead, they go for online inspection, and even enquiry also will happen in the online. And the records can also be submitted through online, and even the notice can also be closed online, and the payment of penalty can also be made online. So this slide will help us to understand like how many states, like the draft rules released versus yet to release. So far, 28 states, they have published the draft rules for all the labor codes, except for few states and union territories like West Bengal, Lakshadweep. These both state and the union territories, they have not published any of the code rules. And Nagaland, they have yet to publish on code on wages and industrial relations, and Delhi on code on social security. Okay, so this coming slides will help us to understand what are the steps the central government is taking towards implementation of this labor code. Okay, so this give a fair idea. So the central government is in continuous dialogue with all the trade unions, so to make them understand the benefit of having this code. So what they have done is they have started issuing a booklet on the labor codes, which helps them to understand the benefits of having this code. And recently, the Labor Ministry, they have launched what they call as e-Shram microsites for all the states and union territories. So what is the intention of having this microsites is this can be integrated with the e-Shram portal, the central government portal, and this serves as an occupational search index. Means all the unorganized employees, they can get themselves registered in this in the websites. This helps them to understand what are the welfare measures which is available in the appropriate state and in the central government, and they can apply for the job. Okay, so suppose if they fall short of any skill, means they can approach the training institute and get themselves enhanced with the skills. So this is to encourage the unorganized sector employees to get themselves employed in a suitable employment. And the Ministry of Labor, they have published what you call as year-end review in the month of last December 2024. In that, they have clearly mentioned the timeline for all the states and union territories to publish the draft rules. So they have set a timeline as a 31st March 2025. But in spite of having this, keeping this deadline, still West Bengal and a few other union territories have yet to publish the labor codes. Okay. And Vikshit Bharat Vision. So what is Vikshit Bharat Vision? So it is a vision of the central government. What it states is like they want India to be a fully developed nation by 2047. Okay, so keeping this in view, the ministry has set a few agendas. From the Ministry of Labor, they have set few agendas like they want to do the they want to enhance the ease of doing business, and they want to decriminalize any non-compliance. Okay, and they want to promote, sorry, and they want to decriminalize any offenses, and they want to reduce the compliance burden also. And they wish that more female employees participate in the workforce. So these are all the vision, and these are all as a collective steps where the central government is taking an active steps towards implementation of this labor codes. Okay. So when we say what is e-shram sites, when you refer the industrial relations, wherein you can get a separate chapter for sorry, not industrial relations, a social security code, you can find out a separate chapter wherein the central government has launched a few welfare benefits for, especially for the unorganized sector. So wherein they have mentioned that the unorganized employees can register in the portals, both in the central and state portals. So they can find an opportunity, employment opportunities as per the skills they have. Okay, so in spite of having all this effort, why this is getting delayed? Okay, so the trade unions, they have very long-standing grievances about this labor codes. So why? Because they feel that this labor code bill was not passed after having a tripartite consultation uh, with the union. So that is their long-standing grievances. And even before consultation, the bill was passed in the parliament. So since 2015, no tripartite consultation has happened. So as because of that, their long-standing grievances about the working hours, safety provisions for construction workers especially, and the protection of workers, especially in the mid and small segment areas, they have concern about what do you say, that the labors may be exploited with the long working hours. So these grievances, they feel that it has to be addressed correctly by the central government. So as because of that, all the unions, they have come out with the nationwide strike on coming July 9th, to protest against the implementation of this labor code. So with the support of the union and the employees only, this implementation of the labor code is possible. So in spite of having all these obstacles and hindrances, and if the labor code is implemented in a very phased manner, as a stakeholder, are we ready to accept those changes? So the coming slides will help us to understand as an employer what we have to we make ourselves ready, and as a HR department, how we have to prepare ourselves, and how employees are they benefited by this code. Okay. So from the employer's perspective, a few things it's very positive or in favor of employers, and few things where the employers have to give much focus or attention. Okay, so mass casual leave by the employee is considered as a strike. Okay, and intentionally slowing down the work is considered as an unfair labor practice. Means the employer has every right to take disciplinary action. And increase threshold limit. You see, for example, in the Factories Act, currently we have 10 or more employees. With the aid of power, we have to get it registered. But when as per the labor code, if you have 20 or more employees, you can go for registration. And same goes for the without aid. 40 or more employees are there, they can go for registration. And for as far as contract labor is concerned, threshold is 50 is the limit. Okay. And standing order, if the establishment is having 300 or more employees, obviously they have to have a certified standing order. Okay. And here the employer is is permitted to have a very flexible employment. See, for example, if to complete a short-term assignment, we don't have to recruit for a permanent employee for a longer duration period. Okay, so instead they can go for a short employment for a 1 year period or a 2 year period or 3 year period as per their wish. What they call it as a fixed term employment. So this is one benefit for the employers. And electronic records, as you all know, all the records is being maintained electronically. There are no more physical records needs to be maintained. This is a very, what is it, the physical or tedious process is completely reduced. So as because of that, the volume of transactional activities also will be drastically reduced. Deemed approval provisions. So what do you mean by deemed approval provisions? See, for example, I myself, an employer, I am submitting an application for registration through the portal, and I am waiting for the authority to accept and issue the registration. I can wait maximum, for example, I'm saying a maximum of 30 days. If there is no response from the authority side, the application is deemed as approved, and the registration can be issued. So this is called deemed approval provisions, means there is a minimal response time from the authority end, within which they have to either accept the application or they have to reject. Otherwise, it is be deemed as an approved one. And the most crucial part is realign the HR policies. Okay, so for example, if the employees leave the organization, within 2 days' time, the settlement has to be provided. So we have to revamp the policies towards settlement. Okay. And what are the areas which the employer they may have an additional financial commitment is PF. As far as PF is there is no ceiling as defined as so far. And for fixed term employees, both gratuity and bonus has to be given. And for contract labor, in case the contractor fails to provide these benefits, the principal employer is ultimately accountable to provide these benefits. Okay. And amenities to the contractor labor. Okay, so saying when the contractor fails to provide, the principal employer is liable to provide all the amenities to the contract labor. And reduction in threshold limit in providing amenities. For example, in the Factories Act, if you have 250 or more employees, canteen can be provided. Okay, so but this headcount is reduced to 100. So if you have 100 and more employees, which includes the contract labor, the canteen has to be provided by the employer. Earn leave. So earn leave, current practice is if the employee has completed 240 work days, for every 20 work days, one earn leave is given. But in the code, if the employee has completed 180 work days, you have to give, the employee is eligible for the earn leave. Okay. Contributions towards reskilling fund. Okay, so if the employer decides to retrench the worker, he has to contribute towards the reskilling fund. So what is reskilling fund is the employer has to what do you say that contribute 15 days of last round wages of the employee towards this reskilling fund, so that this fund is being utilized for enhancing the skill of that employee. Okay? So that he may be suitable to find an alternate employment opportunity. Okay. And amenities for third gender. Okay, so whatever the amenities that is being provided for the male and female employees, similar such provisions has to be provided for the third gender. And increased penalty. So we have to take utmost care so that a single non-compliance will lead to huge penalty, because currently we have when in compared to the current scenario, the amount is quite huge. So we have to take utmost care in non-compliance. Okay. As a HR department, what all the what do you say? What is that we have to take care is the salary has to be restructured as per the new definition of the wage. Okay, so once we are redefining or restructuring the wage means all obviously it will impact on the statutory benefits. Okay, so accordingly we have to realign the policies. And salary has to be dispersed within 7 days. Means like we currently what if the establishment is having 1,000 and more, uh, the 10th date is the salary date. If it is less than 1,000, seventh date is the salary disbursement date. But this headcount is irrelevant as far as labor code is concerned. So to whatever may be the headcount, the salary has to be paid on or before 7th date of every month. As we saw in previous slide, full and final settlement should be made within 2 days of resignation. And before employing engaging employees for overtime, we have to make sure that we take the written consent from the workers before engaging them. So it has to be documented actually. And coming to bonus calculation, so the ceiling for bonus calculation, the central government has empowered the appropriate state government to fix the ceiling wage. So accordingly, we have to take care that location-wise the bonus has to be calculated. So these are all few things which the HR department has to take care. Employees. So the gig and platform workers has been provided with the social security benefits. And obviously, government has taken extensive steps to provide safety at the workplace. So when you look at the appointment of safety officer, currently, no, 1,000 and more employees are there in the factory, we can appoint a safety officer. But the labor code says that if you have 500 or more, you have to appoint the safety officer. And flexible working hours for women. Okay, so women can be engaged in night shift provided you take the written consent from them and provide adequate safety for the women employees. Okay. And the fixed term employees enjoy equivalent benefit as do the permanent employees. So these are all few benefits which has been highlighted uh, where the employees they enjoy. Okay. For all the participants, we'll be sharing a link. From that link, you can download this labor code matrix. This matrix will provide what do you say that an updated checklist of the states and union territories which has published the draft rules for all the codes. Yeah. So I would like to have feedback on this session from the participants before going in for the final QA. Divya?
Meanwhile, Pramila, I think there are a few questions in the chat box. You can
Yeah.
start answering each of that. I think the first question is from Shreyashi.
मुंबई पुणे का वो है एड्रेस मुंबई पुणे का वर्चुअल ऑफिस का
Is there any
Credentials are अलग
specific IT rule for IT companies within Maharashtra states?
हाँ
See,
बना
excuse me, can you mute, please? Yeah. See, for
Credential है
IT rule, in reference to labor codes, there is no specific provisions as such for IT companies.
हाँ एड्रेस चाहिए
And full and final settlement within 2 days from last working day or resignation day. From the date resigned, within 2 days. How to treat a case if an employee leaves halfway through the notice in IT software companies. See, we are discussing about the labor codes, okay? So how to treat a case if an employee leaves halfway through the notice in IT software means like a notice means like what do you say? Like if you have the terms and conditions as stated in the appointment order, the employee has to comply with that. Okay, so the standing order also defines that as per the standing order, if the employment terms and conditions has been mentioned in the appointment order, the company can go as per that conditions. So what is the link you want? The link it will be shared to your email. What all the statutory complaints applicable for Gujarat factory? So can you be clear, like what is it exactly you want to know? What all the statutory complaints applicable for Gujarat factory in the sense?
Hello, hi, I'm Sanjukta.
Uh,
Okay, so I mean, recently we have one company established in Gujarat. Okay,
mm,
so I mean, as per the local spoke at Gujarat, I mean, we have HR spoke there also. As for him, he's telling that ESIC is not applicable at the moment. So is it right? ESIC is not applicable at Gujarat?
See,
Instead,
based on the coverage area, the government is issuing a notices like which are all the areas which is covered under the ESA. Okay, so maybe the factory which is located, your factory which is located in that area may not be covered with the ESIC.
okay, that means like will not enroll in ESIC, is it?
Yeah, since there is no ESIC coverage, we cannot provide it.
Okay, so instead we can take any kind of insurance, is it?
Yeah, exactly. Correct.
Okay.
If resignation, thank you. I think I have addressed your. If resignation is received and notice period to serve is 90 days, then how to do F&F. Yeah, if they from the date of resignation, 2 days is the date you have to see. For example, if you are sending the employee immediately, okay, so now you have taken the decision that you are removing the employee, or even they are putting the papers down today itself, means you have a 2 days time to give the full and final settlement to the employees. Okay. Labor laws and compliances vary from state to state or country wise. Overall, India for IT. See, state to state, see, the governing legislations will take care of the IT establishments. Okay, so you have to register under the Shop and Establishments Act based on the location. Does the bonus mandates stand for employees irrespective of the company size? See, if you're what do you say that irrespective of the what do you say that if it is a small company which has started with the 1 or 2 years of old, means it's not mandatory to provide. But once 5 years is completed, it is mandatory to provide the bonus. So, may I know inclusion and exclusion? What is it exactly you want to know in inclusion and exclusion? The question is not clear, please.
Hi, I am Satya.
Yeah, I said
So
that.
yeah, it's means under wage code we are having inclusion and exclusion, right? Means what are the allowances which needs to be included and such allowances which need to be
So you
excluded,
mean to
right?
say that wages, right? Wage definition you are
Yes,
saying,
yes,
you are
yeah,
asking. See,
yeah.
basic pay, dearness allowance, and retain allowance. Okay, so these are all inclusive and exclusive, like any commission, gratuity, how HRA, all these are comes under the exclusions. Okay. And any
Uh,
settlements or rewards, any remuneration that is being paid towards in reference to award or a settlement, means that is being considered as an exclusion. And retrenchment compensation, all these are exclusion.
and they are also having a cap, right? 50 percentage means if
Yes, exactly.
50 percentage
But
is more than
yes,
the
exactly.
exclusion, then
So
it should
yes,
be added back to inclusion because
yes,
basically
yes,
they
inclusion.
want to keep the 50 percentages inclusion, right?
Yes, exactly. Correct.
So if you're
You're right.
keeping our basic as 50%, then whether it can be solved.
See, that is a question. That's a gray area which we have to, once the labor code is being rolled out, then only we'll get to know. See, even the contribution, employer contribution towards the PF, that is also being included in your case, if
Yes.
it goes beyond 50%.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is quite surprising. Okay, so
Uh-huh.
once that is being rolled out, only we may get to know.
Okay. And one more thing, now we are arriving the PF, PSI, everything from the CTC, right?
Mm.
Means we are arriving, means we are calculating backwards. So how we can fix this inclusion and exclusion means well, once we are arriving at this basic, then how we can arrive at the ESI and PF as per this new wage code? Can you
Yeah,
give me with
that's what, no,
example?
that thing is like, we are not very clear. That area is very gray, actually. So we have, once that is being rolled out, we can have a separate session on this. Definitely, we can discuss on that. Yeah.
Because if you're knowing about that only, then how much impact, cost impact we will be having that we can arrive at, right?
Yes, exactly. Correct. So can we move on to the next? What are the main labor law required for an IT industry sector? Means what do you want? As I told you, know the Shops and Establishment Acts, the governing legislations. So you have to comply with that, and the Payment of Wages Act, the Minimum Wages Act. All these act you have to comply with it based on the location. Is it okay to hold the salaries during the notice period? Can you be very clear? Like this question, notice period. Like what is it exactly you want to know, Amulya?
Hello, I'm having a similar doubt. because during the notice period, we will be holding the salary for the employees, because maybe we are having uncertain that the employee will continue or not. So to safeguard from our side, we will be holding the salary and it will be released during their FFS. So whether this practice is correct or not, that I think that's what the summary also wants to know.
From the legal perspective, it is not correct.
Okay, Pramila, 1 second.
Yeah, yeah.
Just, I just request you to read out the questions for the benefit of everybody to hear it properly.
Okay, okay.
Specifying their names so that they will know
Okay.
that you are answering their question. And if there are any clarifications, they will ask you. So please,
Fine.
call out their names and then,
Okay.
read out their questions so that it is
Okay.
very clear to everybody to listen and clarify.
Fine,
Thank you.
fine.
Premila, this is Shweta. I had a similar question regarding holding the selling during the serving notice period. So
Okay.
basically, we are from the IT background, and
Okay.
we allocate lots of assets to the employee, which they
Okay.
has to be submit at the time of leaving the organization. That's generally
Okay.
on the last day of their working. And sometimes
Okay.
also it's happen when they are working from home, they send it little later also.
Okay.
Okay, so what
Okay.
is the F&F scenario would be in such a situation? First question, can we hold the last month's salary because assets and liabilities are still pending with the employee?
Yeah,
Second
last month
is,
you can pay along with this. Sorry, Sweta, you want to finish it? Please
yeah,
finish it. Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
second query was,
Mm.
can we extend little bit this F&F period because assets are yet to submit, dependency on the client.
When you
Sorry,
want
not
to
client,
extend means,
dependency
can
on
you
the.
be very clear, like
Yeah,
how long you
suppose,
want to extend?
suppose Shweta is working for someone and she had resigned. She had
Okay.
lots of complete assets like the laptop and a full setup in a home to support the
Okay.
work from home, which
Okay.
is supposed to be submitted at the last working day. But as she is working from home, so she need
Mm.
additional time to return all the assets back to the company. That
Okay.
could be 10 day or 15 day, whatever she has requested and company had accepted. So in such
Okay.
a case, what would be the deadline to complete and pay out the F&F to Sweta?
See, that it depends on the company to company. What is the terms and conditions you have with the employees? That speaks. Okay. So based on that, you have to work. So as
Okay.
you told for the first question, no, you for the final month salary, no, you can pay along with the settlement.
Okay.
Okay.
In such a
Okay.
case, these 2 days of F&F payout
As
doesn't.
far as labor codes is concerned, obviously within 2 days you have to settle. No other go actually.
Okay. Fine.
Okay,
Thank you.
Pramila, 1 second.
Yeah, yeah.
Prashant, who has raised his hand, let him ask his question, please.
Yeah, please,
Hi,
Prashant.
hi, Pramila. I
Yeah,
just
hi,
have two.
Prashant.
I need a clarity, and one I have a question. First, I need a clarity as we were discussing about the clearing the FNF within 2 days. So, as per my understanding, once the employee has submitted his all the NOCs and all, and from his last working day, these 2 days would be applicable. It is not that he has not submitted his assets and all, as Shweta is mentioning that people are working from home, they are late submitting their. Is it that we can take, or specifically is this applicable in termination cases for
Yeah,
this
see,
two days window?
whatever be the case, whether the termination or the resignation, or in case retrenchment also, the settlement has to be done within 2 days' time, actually.
Okay. And my next question is that as you have mentioned that we are changing the earned leave days from 240 to 180 days. So I'm
Yeah.
sure it is going to have the impact on the count of the leave as well.
Should be, yes, obviously. Means it speaks about the eligibility. It
Okay,
speaks about the eligibility.
okay. It
See,
is not. It is not.
wait. No, wait. Let me finish it off. It speaks about the eligibility of having the earned leave. Okay. So how the employee now in the current scenario, if at all the employee completes 240 work days only, he will be eligible for earned leave for every 20 work days. Right?
Correct.
But whereas labor code is giving that eligibility, even if you have completed 180 work days, you are eligible to have an earned leave.
Okay, so it is not that they have reduced that earning 20 days and then what it is. There is
No,
no change
that
on that.
remains same. There is no change
Eligibility
on
is
that.
only from two. Okay, that's clear. Thank you.
Yes, yeah. Can we move on to the next question? How many working hours are suggested from Pooja? Pooja, your question is not clear. Like, what is that? How many working hours are suggested in the sense? Pooja, can you speak?
I think she might be in YouTube also, so you can just answer.
Okay.
If you're not clear with the
No, this
question, maybe you
question
can
is
take
not
the next
clear
question.
actually.
Yeah, you can
Okay,
skip the
fine.
question. If people are interested to clarify, they will
Okay,
have to write back to us. We
fine.
will give the contact information at the last.
Will the IT employees be covered under workers' right? How will employees be covered from layoffs across all industries, especially IT and BPO? Okay, fine. See here, the Act defines as industrial establishment. Okay, so when you look into the definition of an industrial establishment, it is taking the definition of industry. So when you refer the definition of industry, it speaks about the manufacturing process or even providing the service also. So whichever the company, they are having a headcount of more than 300 or more employees, they can have a certified standing order. Based on the certifying standing orders, the layoffs can be taken. Okay. And for those establishments which is having a 50 or less than 50, there is a separate provision for taking retrenchment and layoff. Okay. I hope you got the clarity. And Sudhanshu, what changes to the Gratuity Act have been proposed in the new codes? See, the changes as of now we can infer is like if full-term employment employees are fixed-term employees also eligible for the gratuity. So as of now, we can understand this. We can interpret. Okay. What does flexible working hours for women mean? How much flexibility we are expecting specific to IT industry? See, flexible working hours means, of course, the working hours, the spread over of the working hours will remain same. Okay. If you want to engage the women employee in the night shift, means obviously you can have it, provided you get the consent from the employees and you provide adequate safety measures to the employees, you can engage them in the night shift. What is the PF basic for calculating? What is it? PF basic for calculating PF. Yeah,
Yes,
Sanjukta
ma'am.
Naik.
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
please.
Currently,
What is it?
actually, yeah. Currently, we are calculating employee and employer contribution like in the CTC structure, no. Except HRA, all other component we are taking as a PF basic and calculating that PF basic from employee and employer. Okay. So I just wanted to know the practice which we are following up. Is this correct or any changes need to be required?
No, I don't understand.
Okay,
Your
I mean,
question is
CTC
not clear.
structure, HR, basic, HRA, special allowance, and other allowance are there, right?
Okay.
From the component, right, we are
Mm.
excluding only HRA part, and apart from HRA, all other component we are taking as a PF basic, and we are calculating, suppose example 10,000, right? Out of 10,000, like if it is 8,000 is the including all the allowance, if it is 8,000, then we are calculating the PF basic from the employee and employer 8,000 from the 8,000 instead of 10,000. That was my question actually.
Okay,
Pramila, can I
so
answer this question?
yeah, please. Yeah.
Hello.
Okay. Hi, Radha here. So
Yeah.
if are you restricting to 1,800 or you are contributing 12% of the total value excluding the HRA?
12%.
12%. Okay, so people will contribute even more than 1,800 rupees.
Correct.
Okay, so when we are restricting to 1,800, whatever the practice that you are already having is the
I
right.
just observed that you were the only person who was the senior one जो लास्ट तक साथ में थी तो मैंने मोदी को कहा मैंने कहा सर मुझे तो छोटी सर को नहीं
Sorry,
लेके
I see
मैंने
a
कहा ऐसा कुछ नहीं होगा तो हम लोग
somebody's
मतलब हम
line.
पर्सनली दे देंगे
Participants kindly mute, please.
तो मैंने एक काम करते फिर अम्मी जी को भी दे
Divya,
देंगे
can you mute the participants?
Okay. So for the earlier question, yes, it is the right process if you are excluding only the HRA and you are contributing. But if people are contributing more than 1,800 and if they're okay with that, then it is fine because this excluding HRA is
So
applicable.
what we are doing right now, employees who are earning more than 15,000, okay, for them we are applying this rule. HRS excluding HRA, all other component we are taking, and employees who are within 15,000 limit, we are like deducting their 1,800. I mean the slab which is there in SAP, sorry, in PF.
Okay. So people who are earning less than 15,000, you are restricting it to
15,000, 15,000, not 15, 15.
Yeah, got it. So 15,000, you are restricting it to 1,800. And
Correct.
if they're earning more than 15,000, this earning is, I mean, the total salary minus HRA. So whatever
Correct.
it comes, you are calculating it at 12% of that figure.
Correct.
Right? So it is, I mean, if employees are okay with this contribution, it is fine. But the PF law says maximum of 1,800 rupees. Or if their salary, the basic is more than 15,000, then you can contribute only on the basic, 12% on the basic. That will be enough. So now you are actually contributing more. So anyway, PF department will not come back because you are contributing more than the limit. But if for the employee, the take home will be reduced in this case, whatever the practice that you are currently having.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So their basic is more than 15,000. You can contribute only 12% on the basic. And if the basic is less than 15,000, then you can add all other components excluding HRA and you can contribute 12% on that figure. This is the practice. I mean, this is the rule.
Okay, this is the practice we are following up. Not more than 15K. Less than 15K, we are excluding HRA. And more than 15K, it is limiting to 1,800. Yes.
Then you are doing, I mean, the practice is right.
Correct only, no? As per
Yeah,
law.
it's correct.
Okay.
Thank you.
And one more question, ma'am. Regarding gratuity, like are the contract labor also part of the gratuity?
See, the labor code says that if the contractor fails to provide, the principal employer is accountable for it. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so the next question is from Mahesh Kumar. Okay, from which date is this code applicable for the organization? Is any date for its applicability published in the official gazette? Mahesh Kumar, everyone is awaiting for the date. Okay, so far no publication, no announcement has come from the government. Okay, so everyone is waiting for it. As per new labor code, is gratuity for contracts of applicable, especially if contract is renewed early? Sir, I think I have answered this question. If obviously if the contractor fails to provide, the principal employer is accountable for it. Please shed light on the PF and ESP contribution of an employee who have crossed 58 years of age, and how does pension calculation happen? Radha, if you could answer this question, Sumit Sharma.
Yes, ma'am. So my question was to have a fair idea about the EPS, I mean Employee Pension Fund.
Okay.
Right after completing the 58 years of the age of an employee.
Okay.
As I think that after completing 58 years of age, the PF fund doesn't get credited in their provident fund account, and the entire share of 24% goes to the EPS. So I just wanted to understand whether it's correct or
yes, correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
And,
please, Padma, you want to say
Yeah, ma'am.
something?
Yeah, actually, as Sumit sir, once an employee crosses 58 years, right? From
Right.
that month onwards, we cannot do pension contribution. So whatever the contribution that we are doing, that is the total 24%, as you mentioned, it will goes to the PF account only.
Okay. And how does this calculation of pension happen?
Pension, it is having a separate calculation, but I am not good at it.
So, yeah,
Arun
I
will
think
help us.
that is, yeah, you can refer the passbook login. Sir. In the
do
passbook
that one.
login itself, there is a provision provided for each employee, how this pension is calculated and the formula also is available. So you can just refer to the PF passbook login.
PF passbook. You
Correct.
said PF passbook?
There is a provision specifically for pension calculation they have provided. So
Okay.
we can
And
refer to that.
okay. And one more, one last question.
Yeah.
Up to what age we can have a candidate with us, with the organization? After 60 years, or what is the threshold?
No, I think there is no threshold. So even companies occupy employees, after 60 also. So it depends upon the company's requirements, and there is
And-
no law says that you have to recruit until this. So
Okay.
it is
And the
not.
PF and the PF contribution would be there, right? As
Yeah,
compared
yeah,
to the previous.
obviously.
Okay.
You have
Thank
to
you so
provide.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, and thank you, Padma. Next question is from Abhishek. Is it mandatory to provide gratuity to the employee considering it was not mentioned in the CTC? No, if you don't mention in the CTC, the Act says, okay, so the Act says that you have to provide gratuity. Sweta, any specific rule for interns in IT? Yeah, you have to, what do you say, that you have to follow the Apprenticeship Act. Relativity. How soon is this expected to be from out? Okay, so as I told you, we are all expecting when the government will announce the final date for labor code implementations. When pension, it is from Renu Suresh Kataria, Noida. When pension will start after retirement or on after 58 years of age? Arun, can you answer this question?
Yeah, can you repeat the question?
When pension will start after retirement or on after 58 years of age?
See, pension, I think there is a provision provided in the PF online services. You have to apply for pension on Form 10D application. You have to apply after 58 years of age completion. There is a option. If you have, sorry, some disturbance. Can you mute? So after completing 58 years of age, you can, if you have service is more than 10 years, you are eligible for monthly pension. So we can apply there in Form 10D. And if you want additional pension, so you can wait until 60 years of age, and you can apply for pension. Then you will get additional benefit out of pension. So there is a provisions available for that. So that's what you have to do if you want to opt for pension. And if you are,
thank you.
if you have multiple services, you have to transfer the services to the last company, and that way you have to apply for pension.
Okay,
Thank
team,
you, Arun.
we have only 2 more minutes to end the session. So whatever questions are left out in the chat, please answer those questions quickly. And if there are any specific questions for others in the list, so we can even take it offline. You can write back to us. We will give you the contact email IDs where you can write back to us. As possible, we will write back to you to each of
Okay,
your
so
clarifications.
yeah, thank you, Geeta. Ravi has asked, can we enforce bond for freshers under this labor code? No, you cannot. You cannot have any bond for anyone else. Okay. Okay, what is the difference between 10C and 10D? Like, I don't know who has asked this question. Can you be more clear and specific?
Yeah, I think they are asking about the application for pension. So 10C is predominantly applicable when you have service in pension below 10 years, that is above 6 months and below 10 years. 10C is applicable, and 10D is applicable if you have service more than 10 years of service in pension, and even in case of death, you have to, the nominee has to apply for a 10D application. So that is the difference.
Yeah, thank you, Arun. I think, Divya, I think we have addressed all the queries which has been posted in the chat box. And I think we are running out of time. So I think they can share their questions through mail. We can address to their queries. Yeah, and few people are asking for the link to download the note. Fine. Shall we go for the next?
Yes, ma'am.
Move forward to the next slide, please.
Yeah, please. Wait, yeah. Yeah. See, we are
Okay, these
active
are
in the
our
social
links.
platforms. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Geeta.
Yeah. You want to continue, Pramila? Want me to take
Yeah,
it forward?
I have done with. Yeah, please, you can take it forward. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Pramila. Thank you for the wonderful session. And it was very interactive. Most of them questions was answered. Thank you very much. And yeah, for people
Thank
to
you.
notice here, the social links are being provided for your benefit. Whatever clarifications, questions, or extensive clarifications you want to know specific to these areas, please write back to us. Or if you want any services, please write back to us. These are social links that we post very frequently on the updates, and whatever knowledge sharing is possible from Relativity, we do share here. Please follow us. Thank you everybody for the participation.
Thank you all. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you all. Meet you in the next webinar. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.